Chicken Parmigiana, it's an absolute pub favourite. But when I was doing my most recent book, The Slow Cook, I did want to add it, but in a bit of an unorthodox way. So let's get on to the stuffing. Super classic flavours, some breadcrumbs, so a good handful into a bowl, along with some grated Parmesan, 2 tablespoons, and some pine nuts. I love pine nuts, so I'm adding a generous amount into this. To bind all of this together, some ricotta, so about 3 tablespoons. And finally, an egg. Now, I only want the egg yolk for this, just to give it some extra richness. So we'll just separate the whites and in with the yolk. To season this, some salt, and if you like, you could add some pepper, but I'm going to leave it out for now. So just using a spatula, we're just going to combine all of these ingredients together. We want this to be a sticky paste-like consistency. Now I'm going to be using chicken breasts for this recipe, and the reason I use chicken breast is because we can form a little pocket to stuff the chicken. So we're just going to make an incision into the chicken, a perfect little pocket for our stuffing. See? Just like that. So I'll just grab a spoon and we'll add about a dessert spoonful of the mixture and just pop it in the centre. Try not to overfill this because it will run as it starts to cook. Now to fasten this, just a toothpick. You may need 2 of them just to go straight through, and that's the first one done. And just finishing off the last one with a few toothpicks, and they're right to go. So I've just been preheating a large saute pan. I'll add some extra virgin olive oil, and I don't want to cook them at this stage. I just want to get some nice colour on the chicken. So we'll add them and just be quite delicate with them because they are full of stuffing. And I'll cook 2 at a time because you don't want to overcrowd the pan. A pinch of salt on the outside. And this is when I'm going to add some freshly cracked pepper. Now, while they're sealing off, let's start preparing our sauce. An eggplant, such a great addition to this. So I'll just use a peeler just to peel some of that skin. I do that because I want the eggplant to really break down in the sauce and give it a really nice meaty, sort of savoury flavour. So I'll just take some of that peel off so it looks like a bit of a zebra, and we'll grab a knife and top and tail it, and then we're going to cut it into cubes. Now I'll actually just use half of this one because it's so large. So into 4, and then a nice little dice. Okay, great, let's turn this chicken over. Oh, gorgeous, just a little colour there, that's all we're needing. And I've got a little bit more space there, we'll add another one in. And I'll take the first 2 out, they're ready. And let's not forget the last one, that can go in. Now, while they're cooking, because I've got a little space in my saute pan, I'm going to add some pancetta. So we want about 100, 120 grams of the pancetta. And we'll just sprinkle that in our pan and just allow some of that fat to render off. Pancetta is smelling fantastic. So we can add our eggplant in now. We just want to get some colour on that, and you'll see that it start to soak up all that delicious pancetta fat, just delicious. Now for some onions, so 1 onion finely chopped, and just another extra splash of extra virgin olive oil. Some garlic, and I always leave my garlic to the end just so it doesn't burn, because it's going to take a little longer for the onions and our eggplant to cook. Okay, as this starts to change colour, we can add tomatoes. So some canned tomatoes, whole peeled. I'll add 2 of them. Lots of sauce for this. And we want to break up those tomatoes. Just use your tongs to separate them. As it comes to the boil, I'll add some sugar, so just some caster sugar, and just for a little zing, some vinegar. Okay, now we're just going to allow this to cook down just so that eggplant starts to soften, and then we can put it all together to go into the oven. And that's looking good now, so we will return our chicken to the sauce. And this is going to cook with all the delicious juices for about 30 minutes. And I like to just place a lid on top of this just so it cooks nice and evenly. Okay, this has been bubbling away for 30 minutes. It smells delicious. But if you want to give it that really delicious melted cheese texture on the top, then I recommend preheating your grill, and I'm going to carefully transfer these gorgeous little stuffed chicken breasts to the dish we placed them in at the beginning. And we're going to cover it with sauce and lots of cheese. And by doing that, we're going to get an oozy, golden, cheesy topping. So just nestle them in, spread them out. I'm going to add some generous spoonfuls in and around the chicken. Last little spoonful. Great. For some crunch, those pine nuts, I did reserve a few. We'll add a little more to the top. Some buffalo mozzarella. Just drain it from the liquid. And this is why I love buffalo mozzarella. Look at that, such a treat to use. And we're just going to crumble that over the top of the chicken. Okay, final touches. Little extra Parmesan over the top. And then this now goes under the grill. It's not going to take long at all. Everything is cooked. We just want that cheese to melt. Okay, the chicken has come out of the oven. You can see how golden it is. It's just right. And I would serve it in the dish that you've cooked it in, and a little extra Parmesan, just that little crumb over the top I like, and a few sprigs of beautiful fresh basil. Just drop them over the top. That is not the classic chicken Parmigiana. Serve it as is with a peppery rocket salad and you're in business.